Howdy folks, welcome back to Mile Arc. Today we're going to start a new series. It's been a while since we had a series, and this is going to be a long series. We are going to fly in all 50 states. And before you panic, don't worry, we're not going to have 50 videos in a row of the different United States. We're going to break that up by putting in different flights in between, but it will be an ongoing series. It'll take us a while. But I wanted to do some GA flying in each state because I realized that I keep flying the same areas over and over, and there's been probably 3/4 or even like 4/5 of the states I haven't actually touched wheels in. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to alphabetically go through all 50 states and just do short little GA flights, starting and landing in the same state. So you won't even be crossing state lines. For example, we're starting in Alabama. We're going to take off in Mobile, Alabama, and we're going to land at Auburn University in Alabama. So that's what we'll do. I'm also opening it up to suggestions. So if you want to see me fly in a particular part of your state or a state that you like, leave a comment and I'll try to do a flight that incorporates your ideas. Now, I'm already doing Alabama today, so if anybody in Alabama would like to suggest something, I can do Alabama a second time. And by the time you watch this, I've probably also recorded an Alaskan flight because that's next on the list. So if you're in Alaska, you can suggest something there too, and then I can do a second flight in Alaska. But after that, going forward, I will take your suggestions if there's somewhere you want me to fly. Well, I'm just going to go through all 50 states. It'll be 50 videos, maybe a few bonus videos if I redo a couple states with suggestions. But otherwise, it's going to be a long series. But like I said, we're going to break it up. For example, after Alaska, I have a trip planned in the Indian Ocean area, for example, before we do the third state. So it'll be broken up. It'll be fun. I'm curious how long this is going to take. It could be like a year to get through all the states. I have no idea. And it's going to be GA stuff. Different planes every time. We probably won't break out the 727 for any of these. We probably won't break out the Eclipse 550 for these, just because even the biggest state, aside from Alaska, even if we did Texas, it's not really big enough to take a jet across. So a bunch of GA stuff. That's what the channel's all about anyways, GA flying for the most part. So that's what I'm planning to do. It's a long introduction. I'm not going to give that introduction every time. I'll probably never give that introduction again. So I will be creating a playlist as well on the YouTube channel, so you can just go from state to state if you want to as time goes on, in case you found this in the future and you want to see all the videos. Check out the playlist. So that being said, let's get started. As I said, we're starting with Alabama. That's the first list alphabetically. The first state alphabetically is Alabama. So we are starting in Mobile downtown airport, which is at the southern tip of Alabama, just outside the ocean. If I swing around this way, you can see the ocean right there. So south of it in Alabama, they're going to fly northeast all the way across the state to Auburn University Regional Airport. Don't know much about the place. I was going to do some research ahead of time, but I just know that there's an airport there. And that's something else I forgot to mention. I don't necessarily want to do major airports during this series either. So when I'm in Minnesota, I'm not going to fly like Minneapolis to Duluth. And when I'm in New York, I'm not going to fly LaGuardia to Niagara Falls or something. You know what I mean? I want to do smaller regional airports as well. And I'm also going to try to use real world weather as much as possible. Well, I guess that's a given. I always try to use real world weather as much as possible. And I'm going to try to do that even more so during these flights. So what do we got today? We have real world weather, partly cloudy, 3-knot wind coming from 230 degrees. So we're going to take off on runway 18. That's the best I can do. We are going to do the GPS approach to Auburn. And we're going to use, what runway I have it out here? Runway 11, I think, because the wind there, if the sim follows SkyVector, the wind there is 3 degrees, like 3 knots from 3 degrees. So the best I can do is runway 11. So we're going to do that. So we're going to have a little bit crosswind, both takeoff and landing, just a little. Of course, the sim might do whatever it wants. We have that happen a lot. So anyway, let me look at my list here. I think that's all I had to say to introduce this leg, where we're starting, where we're going, and the weather, and the GPS approach that we're going to do. So we're walking towards the plane here. We're going to get this thing started up in a moment. I like the big jet behind us. I guess I would have to assume that thing would really be here in real life. This is, big area. It's not too far out there. So here we go. We already are using external power, GPU. If I can remember where my presets are, I'm doing everything with my left hand now. I rearranged my desk so I can have multiple studios in one area. My Minecraft channel, my sim channel, my indie gaming, everything's set up at the same time now. But that means I have to use my left hand for all my presets. So let's see how smoothly this goes. So external power, let's get the fuel going. Like usual, I forgot to note the distance. I think it was 122 nautical miles, 122, something like that. So that's what's in this thing. I don't know, 50 some minute flight time. So we'll be a little generous here and we'll do just over an hour and a half. Actually, let's do hour 45 flight time. I feel better with that. But anyway, I'm trying to go for a 5 o'clock departure. So we got 9 minutes simulation time to get out of here. So what are we going to do? We are going to hide the yoke so we can see what we're doing. We're going to turn on the battery. Master lights are already on. I don't know why I have that part on my checklist. I do all that before I start recording. Nav lights, I do all that before I start recording too. What does 9 do? Oh, 9 is fuel. Okay, 8. Everything's the way we want. I guess we can add nav. Unless everything else is the way we want it already. What is next? Hopping outside. I got too many papers on my keyboard. I can't see my letters. There you go. All right, hop outside so we can close the passenger and baggage door. We're going to hop inside though and swing around to close the cockpit door. We're going to remove static elements too while we're at it. There we go. Where did we go? I lost my track of my list. Emergency lights to normal. Oh, my frame rates are dogging down because of the clouds. My computer's still running super hot, but I did turn down a few things to get a few more frames out of it. It does make me nervous, but I'm not quite ready to buy a new flight sim computer. It's kind of spendy if you want to do it for flight sim. All right, parking brake is down here, right? Yes, parking brake is set. Fuel switches, here we go. On, auto. We'll view the main tank, then we'll view the auxiliary because it uses auxiliary first, and this is just a viewing switch. You're not selecting tanks here. But auxiliary is used first, and then when that gets to 0, we'll switch to main. To view the main tank, prop levers and everything have to be reset. I don't know why, they just do. All right, engine auto igniter. Let's do the right one first because we can. We hold the ignition switch. And the way it's supposed to work is when it gets to 15%, you put in low idle, which never used to work in this. And then it'll work for a while, and then there's some other update, and now it doesn't work again. But we're going to try it just for fun. So we're going to get to 15%, and we got to catch it before it drops to 12. So there's 15. Let's go low idle, and see, it's not working. So let's go high idle, and we have to do the igniter again. So I'm not sure why it only worked for like 2 weeks. Now it'll take off. There we go. Anyway, so a little different than real life, but we manage. We do what we can. And we can do a close-up on the engines and make sure everything is working. What is my engine preset? Number 2? Okay, there we go. Alright, watching the prop come up, and we can hear it. So actually, let's close our window, because that's only going to get louder. Alright, looks like we're down on our knees. So let's do the... Whoop, got to turn the right generator. Once it stabilizes at 63. There we go. Left igniter, left ignition. Conditioners are already forward because I only have one axis on my yoke. So we'll just hold it till it takes off. And it's supposed to stabilize at 63. And there it is. So left generator, close the cover. Yes, I understand. I have the gyros mapped as Y on my keyboard. I have a whole video on how to do that and why you need to do that. Although in this aircraft you're not supposed to have to do that, but Carenado will need to update that to follow the new instructions in the sim. Alright, avionics switch. Why am I drawing a blank on the avionics switch? Right there in red. How can you miss it? Auto igniters can come off. AC bus, right and left. Sync gyros already did. Turn off external power. Rudder boost is between the seats. And climate control is over here. Oh man, if these frame rates don't improve, I'm going to have to change a few things because it's going to be hard to land. Let's do auto. And Set this to decrease, or else it gets to be 120 degrees. Turn on the heaters and blowers. Turn on the furnace in case we need it. All right, flight plan in the GPS. Let's clear you out of there. All right, so flight plan. Flight plan. Menu, and delete this one from previous flights. Like so. And what do we do now? Push it. And then we do the outside one, right? There we go. All right, so we're at KBFM. A few waypoints on the way. We're going to follow some real airways before we put in the GPS approach, which I will do manually like always because I can never get it to work through the GPS. We always end up going all over the place. So first place is Europe. Europe, just like that. And then we're going to go to Petak, Pet Oak. You tell me what this says, because I don't know what that is. Petak. Remember, in the United States, all these waypoints mean something to the locals. The easiest one to explain is when you're in Florida, around Disney, all Disney characters. So I don't know what those mean, but it means something to the locals. All right, so we're going to put in the GPS for runway 11. So from Petak, we want to go to Tobsea, I guess. Again, tell me what this says. Tobsea. All right, and then after that, it is Cycle, just like that. And then Pisces, Pexis. I'm not sure what this one says either, but there it is. All right, then after that is your runway, which is Kilo Alpha Uniform Oscar, just like that. Different name in here, but at least the Auburn part is right. So there we go. We'll accept that. We're going to go direct to Europe, and that one. You betcha. Yeah, you betcha. There we go. Wheel calculator, top of descent. Once you're in the air. So what is next? That was flight plan. So we hit CDI. Just like that. The Avidyne. Let's declutter a little bit and go forward. Weather will show up on there, like storms, but you have to have some pretty good storms to show up. All right, radios, instruments. We don't have any radios or instruments really to tune because let's put that on standby because it's all on the GPS today. Every last bit of it. GPS and autopilot follow GPS as well. Whoops, that's not overspeed. That's furnace. This is overspeed. And that's stall. No, that's stall. Wow, I'm having a hard time today. All right, warnings and cautions light. Test them. I forgot how to test them. I think you come up here and you push this button. There we go. Now they're all lit up like they should be. All right, that can go right now. Next, cabin pressure. I already did the bleed valve, so we're going to come back down here. We're going to fly at our normal 16,000 feet. So let's set this for 17,000 feet. You always go 1,000 above. There's supposed to be a little white marker here. There's not, so we have to imagine it. This will go all the way around and come back, and then we'll adjust this accordingly so that we watch our pressure gauges up here on the right have to stay in the green. We'll adjust that as we need to. What is next? Auto feather to arm, which, why can't I see this stuff? There it is. Generator ties closed right there. And then we're going to zoom into the star warning, normal anti-ice, pitot heat, like so. Prop sync on. TCAS, where are you? Right there. And that's it. We're ready to taxi. So taxi lights come on now. Oh my gosh, these frame rates. Oh, I can't deal with this much longer. I'm gonna have to figure something out. All right, let's see. Props go to taxi. Should change sound a little bit, and they do. Everything is closed and ready to go. So conditioners are low idle, so we don't foul things up. Let's see if it stays running. I'm kind of nervous about this. I'm above low idle. Okay, we haven't stalled. Okay, good. All right, first set of flaps down, which is that button, and then we're going to taxi out. We're going to go to runway 18, I think I said, so we're just going to go left. And just have added here, adjusting my throttles and props a little bit so we can get rolling. There we go. Whoa. Weirdness. Okay. Anyway, just gonna go out to the left, which I think was over here. And there goes my weird camera stuff is screwed up again. That's okay. Alright, we'll just head out to the left. Anything worth looking at? I'm wondering. As we fly at like 50 miles an hour. There we go. Quick view of the airport. I have a feeling we're going to end up on the grass if I don't watch it here. No, not too shabby. Okay. We're going a little speedy. Sorry about that. I believe runway 18 was right up here when I looked at the map. Alrighty, anyway, I am going to get up here. And I'll see you in a moment. Apparently we're going to cross a road. Right in the middle of our taxiway. Oh well. That's from, not... The airport builder, airport designer didn't have a big enough exclusion zone. Alright, let's pull out onto the runway here. Before we get things set up. There isn't any other airplane traffic right now. We're just going to pull out here. We're not going to use the turnaround to get to the very end of the runway. We have plenty of space. There we go. Let's line up here nicely and stop right about... Oh, that's right. This plane won't stop with normal brakes for some reason. So we'll set the parking brake, and it should stop us. And it did. Alright, before we take off, flaps down they are. Let's come up to our lighting. Turn off the reading in the cabin. We will turn off the overhead. No, wait. Reading should be on. Sorry. Reading on. Cabin off. Fasten seatbelt on. Overhead flood is off. And cabin flood. And if you want to remember what that looks like, looks just like this now. So before we had all these lights on, all three of them, now we just have the reading lights on. So that takes care of that. Landing lights come on. Anti-collision to flight. Taxi lights can come off. And trim for takeoff. I think this one. Nope, this one. There you go. Move that just about beyond or just shy of middle. Conditioners to high idle. Props to forward. And I have go written down. I don't have anything about cruise or anything, so we will just take off. Actually, I'm going to start the clock first. I don't have that on here. Where's the clock? There we go. Start that. As long as it's less than an hour, that'll work. If it's more than an hour, then it disappears on us. Alrighty. Parking brake off. Throttles forward. Frame rates in the garbage. And here we go. As long as the frames are high enough to land. That's all I care about. And here we go. Airspeed is well alive. A lot of left rudder here. Must be that wind I was talking about. And we're going to rotate now. Should just lift off if the trim is right. And there we go. Nice. 10 foot per minute climb. Gear in, flaps in. Alright. I realized I didn't set up autopilot. Don't know why. That's on my checklist. We're going to hand fly a little bit just because we can. That's what I say. Flaps up, gear up. Get a little bit altitude, and then we will manage some engines. Do I dare have a look outside? Do I dare? Yeah, that's working out. There we go. Screenshot that. That looks awesome. Very cool. Whoa. Yeah. Can't quite do this outside the airplane, can I? Alright, that's working though. Very nice. Alright, let's check our speed. That's okay. We're climbing a little happy. Little too much here. Alright, so let's see here. Let's come down and check out our GPS. We're still hand flying, by the way. And we want to turn around, I assume, to the left, it looks like. So that... Ooh, I didn't like that. The weather just updated. Alright, let's bring back our throttles and props a little bit so that we don't start on fire, and then we'll set up autopilot. I have autopilot set up on my checklist. I don't know why I didn't do it. Weird, I've never missed that before. You all know how much I love autopilot. That's very strange, I missed it. Alright, I think that's good on the engine management. A little bit back on the torque. Everything's in the green. Good enough for now. Alright, let's keep spinning around here. Fly by hand still. Let's see, while I'm turning, let's see if I can move our altitude select to 16,000. It's hard to do a lot of this at once. There we go. And then we will do nav, and we will climb at, let's do 2200. So nav alta select climb. We're at 21 now. And I'm going to keep turning a little bit more before I engage autopilot. Alright, autopilot is now engaged. Smooth handoff. And we're just going to fly right towards that line. 13 minutes it says to our first waypoint. Remember, we got 3 or 4 waypoints in there. In fact, let's see if we can see those other waypoints yet. There we go. Nice. It's going to be quite a long flight, actually. It's going to be a little bit longer than I thought, I think. Which is fine. It's already past my bedtime. What's a few more hours, right? Alright, let's keep that at 35. Clear that out. Come back. Get out of here. Alright, let's see. Let's have a few looks outside because the scenery is escaping us very quickly. And then we will set top of descent. So there we go. Anybody who knows the area of Mobile, Alabama, there's your ocean, there's your airport. The city, I believe, is right here north of the airport. There we go. Why is that zoomed in so far? Let's back up a little bit. That's a little too close. It's about 5 o'clock now in the sim time, so the sun should be setting in a couple hours, which means we should have dusk upon descent. I'm just trying to get a good shot of that harbor down there. There we go. Let's use that for a screenshot. Awesome. A little bit hazy, a little bit cloudy, but it looks pretty good to me. I apologize for these frame rates. Oh my gosh, this is frustrating, but that is okay. We get the point. I like that. We're just about to enter the clouds. I love this, you know, seeing the ocean way. Ooh, there's road down there. I love how you see the ocean and it's all blue. Then all of a sudden when you stare, you're like, hey, there's land. Oh, in the clouds now. There went the land. Oh, and we're back. Anyway, awesome. Let's calculate top of descent. Check these engines one more time. And then we will have some sightseeing time. I'm just adjusting my throttle a little bit to get the most I can out of here without starting on fire. We're at 8,000 feet, 9,000 feet. We're turning landing lights off soon already. Well, there's isn't much of an after takeoff checklist other than landing lights at 10 grand and calculating the top of descent. So what do we want to do? We want to be at 2,500 feet when we enter our approach. So here we go, 2,500, right? Yes, 2,500 feet above sea level at what? Tobsea, whatever that is, right there. We're going to descend at 800 feet per minute. There we go. Just checking. Okay, yep. Yeah, whoa, 800 feet per minute. Descend 42 minutes, so it'll drop down very quickly once we level off, of course. So just double check 2,500 feet sea level at Tobsea. 800 foot per minute drop. What happened there? There we go. And we'll keep an eye on VSR once we get there. I'm getting way ahead of ourselves, but that's how that'll work. So let's keep an eye on that in the background. Otherwise, I think that's all we need to do. I think that's all there is to say. It is time to turn off landing lights already, though. And let's turn these off. We'll get like a half frame back turning those off, which is worth it. Alright, no fires this time. I say that because there's been a few times where we just randomly started on fire for no reason, but not this time. I'm just going to keep an eye on our engines and keep an eye on our VNAV or top of descent. And I guess I'll see you in about 36 minutes. Alright, we way overshot top of descent because I was upstairs talking with my wife about a few things and got caught up in that. But fortunately we have a VSR that tells us we need to descend at 1300 feet per minute, and then it'll leave us back on track. So what we're going to do is we're going to descend. Whoops, sorry, I totally skipped a step because I'm low distracted. We're going to come down, we're going to set this down to 1600. Like so, almost there. Oh, there we go. Now we can descend at 1600 feet per minute, or what was that again? What was it? 1400 feet per minute. Bring back throttle so we don't overspeed. Hide the autopilots. And now we'll be back on track as soon as we descend a little bit here. So let's hide that a moment. Alright, so there is our PTOC in 2 minutes, and then we'll be entering our approach. So, nothing too much to worry about, other than we're having a pretty steep descent. What is that? 1500 feet per minute, whatever I say it was. And now I wanted to talk about the frame rates a second, just because I bring everything into the conversation. We are getting 11 frames per second with no clouds, no weather, no objects to draw, and I am just so frustrated right now. And I think it's because my graphics card is overheating, but I can always do the generic X-Plane troubleshooting, which would be scrapping the preferences file and all that stuff. That's supposed to help when this happens, but I think I'm overheating. I think my GPU is overheating. I tried getting a temperature on my GPU. You know, you can get certain tools. And it flashed 42 Celsius per second. It went to 0, and no tools picked it up since. So I don't know if the sensor's bad. And that's part of the problem, is like the fan won't kick in because the sensor can't tell it how hot it is. Or if the sensor melted off, or what's going on. But I can't get a temperature on my GPU. My CPU is running way cooler than max. My GPU, when it did flash that 42, I think max was 44, so that was bumping max. Anyway, so I think I'm overheating. I think that's why my frame rates are so bad. Because like I say, even in Minecraft, I'm only getting 30 frames per second. I used to get 350. So something's going on, and that's why I don't think it's the simulator. I don't think it's a preference file in the sim. Because in other games, my frame rates are terrible too. But 30 in Minecraft is usable, at least. This 11 is not even usable. But we'll still land the plane. Obviously, you're watching the video, which means we made it. So we'll still land and enjoy the flight that we can. And I'll still upload content as I can. I'm just going to have to tweak settings and scrap the preferences file and see if that does help. But like I said, I don't expect it to, because I'm having issues in other applications. So anyway, that is the story. It's a sad story, but it's a true story. And I'm just moving around here because I'm anxious to land the plane. Anyway, let's see. What do we want to be at? We want to be at 2500 and a few waypoints from now, so we got time. I'm going to put some more throttle back in. I did not mean to slow down that much. But anyway, we'll do a little bit more sightseeing. It's obvious by now that the clouds totally cleared out during our sightseeing trip anyway. So there we have it. Lights on at the airport, some of them anyway. Sun is setting. It will be setting. We won't see it though. We'll land before sunset. One thing we will do though before we sightsee is get our destination barometer if we can. Let's see if I can find it on this map, if it's going to be in play yet. Can't be too far out. We're just going to turn. Let's see here. There it is, right there. Right in the middle. Alright, what's weather like there? 3008. Alright, and what does it say for winds? Wind light and variable. Okay, so basically no wind. 3008, so let's put that in here. I totally forgot to do the barometer for when we left, didn't I? There we go, 3008. Alright, so we'll just turn landing lights back on at 10 grand. I'm going to keep an eye on our steep descent. And otherwise, I'll catch you when it's time to enter our approach. Alright, we're going to make our turn into the approach. We're going to start slowing down a little bit, and we have 1 minute 40 seconds to get to 2,400 feet. We came in 300 feet high, which I haven't actually had happen in a really long time. I'm usually spot on with those calculations, but I missed by 300 feet, but that's okay because we only need to come down 200 more in a minute. So that means we need to bump this up very quickly. We only have to go 200 feet in a minute. No, we're already there. I already missed it. So let's level off right now. That'll help us start slowing down as well. And once we get to the next waypoint, we want to drop down to 1600 by Pisces or whatever that is. And we will let the GPS do that for us actually too. We'll see what the time is on there, and then we'll have our descent match. Actually, if that's a minute away, it's probably going to be like 30 seconds, and that is going to be an 800-foot drop or so. Yep, so we need to do pretty steep actually. It kind of dips down steeply if that's the case. But anyway, flight time so far, 43 minutes in the sim. In real life, it's been almost an hour and a half because of those frame rates. Remember, when you drop below 20 frames per second, it slows the sim down to keep up. So, it takes more time to do things. So props forward now. With a little bit looking around, we're going to use the autopilot as far in as we can, just because of the low frame rate thing makes it very difficult to fly. A little bit of crosswind from the left, not much. Freeway just came into view. It's about to sunset right now. Where's that sun? Up, it's setting. Right there. There we go. Nice look around. We better hop inside and manage some speed here. So there you go, airport is right in front of us as we would expect it to be. Let's start slowing down so we can get flaps and gear out in a moment, because we're only about a minute and a half away from the airport. And we need to drop down to 1600, so let's start doing that now actually. Let's drop down about 800 feet per minute and see what that gets us. And then we'll make other adjustments as needed. But let's bring this down. And we can do gear now. That'll give us a little bit of drag. And as soon as we get in that white arc, we'll do the first set of flaps. With the second set of flaps at the last minute. Altimeter's already set. Landing lights are already on. And props are forward. Gears down. First set of flaps down now. And we'll keep it that way. We want to approach at 110. Land about 107. And this is where autopilot freaks out on us. Okay, so what are we at here? We've got, well, we'll check that time in a moment. I just want to see what our descent rate needs to actually be. Peek out the window here while we're waiting for that to calculate for us. Oh, there's some water over there. Nice neighborhood there, and water there too. Nice, alright. What does this say? Minutes to get down 800 feet. We're at 800 feet per minute. Actually, no. Wait, I started early, didn't I? We only have to go down 300 now. I totally screwed that up too. My goodness, it is not my night. 200 feet in this last minute. There we go. More throttle. Because I'm not watching. So here we go. We're just going to approach at 110-ish in a moment, and then we want to cross the threshold at 100 or so, land 107. I said that backwards. Anyway, we'll land. Last thing I'll say, because I can now, oh, that's amazing, look at that. Nice. Is in real life, according to real B1900 pilots, you do land with props forward and idle throttle. But in the sim, you get sucked down if you do that, so we will land with a lot of throttle engaged. I've done a demonstration. There's a video on that somewhere on the channel where it's like I outsmarted the sim and greased the 1900 or something. So you can overcome the terrible suction thing at the ground by having a lot of throttles engaged. So you approach at your speed and then just kind of goose it a little bit. We're going to kill autopilot now, just because I'm going to fly a little bit. We're going to bring back throttles and approach closer to that 120. And then we'll get down to 110 for a final approach. Cross the threshold at 107 and touchdown at 107, maybe 100. It's supposed to be 107, I think. Although you can get all the way down to 86 without stalling, full flaps. I've tested that. But not when you're close to the ground. It does not work that way. You'll get sucked down so fast. I only see white on the Pappy. No, that's not a Pappy because that's traffic. So there must not be a Pappy. Anyway, we'll just stay here. Real weather though, even though there aren't any clouds, we have real wind blowing us a little bit to the left. Alright, everything is ready. I'm not going to sightsee. I really want to sightsee, but we all know what happens if I sightsee. Alright, let's get back left here. I said the wind is blowing us to the left. The wind is blowing us to the right. See these really bad frame rates? Makes it really hard to fly. Second set of flaps, we're going to float. A little bit of throttle, stay at a good approach speed. Oh golly, we floated like crazy. Alright, let's get back on course here. Final approach speed is good, even with like 8 frames per second. I apologize. A little bit more throttle. It's also difficult because things respond more slowly when you have low frame rates. So I know some people would think, oh, it's slowing down. It's slowing down time. It's a slow motion. Doesn't that make that easier to land? No, it doesn't, because your input is delayed as well. All right, here we go. Trees in the way like usual. Good approach speed, though. Not going too poorly considering our simulator conditions. All right, we're going to clip the top of that tree because we have no choice. Bringing back throttles now because I want to come down under and then goose it so we don't get sucked down. All right, crossing the threshold exactly how I wanted to. A little high because of those trees. Aim for the numbers. We'll round out a little bit and flare. We're getting sucked down. Gun it. Nope, we got sucked down. And I gunned it too late. The good news is I did not slam that nose wheel down. Nose wheel is now down. We'll brake, do reversers because we can. We don't really have to. But I like to. We'll do reversers down to about 60. Let go. And flaps are coming in. So I did not get throttle goosed soon enough and we got sucked right down. But that's okay. I didn't slam the nose wheel, so that's good. Kind of a rough touchdown, but I had nothing to do with it. I couldn't help it. What I should have done was goosed it sooner, but coming off over those trees, we ended up with a steep descent. I have no idea where I'm going. I guess we're going to turn around in this little racetrack area. All right, let's get past the stop sign. We'll clean this up a little bit, and then we will taxi back. Looks like it's going to be a back taxi, and that's as slow as it goes on the brakes. Parking brake. There we go. All right, let's clean this thing up. I think the first thing we do is stop the clock. So there you go, 47-minute flight time. Like an hour and a half real life, though, unfortunately. So here we go. Stop the clock. Landing lights can come off. Taxi lights can come on. Collision goes to ground. Flaps can start coming in. Conditioners to low idle we'll do in a moment. We need to turn on full cabin light so people can start gathering their things. And again, that looks like this. Now everything is on. Alright, conditioners to low idle. Props back to taxi. There we go. And let's hop outside. And let's see where we're actually going to go. Let's use a different preset for that. Okay, so we're going to turn around. And we're going to go that way. All the way to the other end. Simple enough. I'm not going to make you sit there with me. So I will meet you back at the hangar. Actually, we're not at the hangar yet. I just want to show off that sunset, which looks super awesome. So, we did land at sunset after all. I thought we would get there a little bit before, but nope, just in time for sunset. Runway lights are coming on, taxi lights are coming on, and the stim is doing something. I just hope we make it. The fact that you watched this means we made it. I'm just afraid of a crash. But anyway, let's enjoy that sunset for a minute. And I'll meet you at the hangar for real this time. Alright, I have no idea where we're going. This airport is strange. That little turnaround for the back taxi was like a little racetrack. And then we have all these like weird, oddly shaped taxiways over here. Like this is like a taxi maze. Look at this. It's not even, I don't know, it's just a whole bunch of like non-straight taxiways going all over the airfield. Very interesting though. I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. But we're just going to go in here, I think, to the left, if I can make it. And we'll park over here by these other guys. And we'll call it a day. Alright, the plane looks nice and huge with this angle, with this camera preset. So let's see. I guess we have to avoid that guy. So let's just go over here. I don't think I saw anybody over here. Nope. Whoa, yes there are. Coming through. Don't mind us. We're just going to come right through here. We'll just park right here until that other plane takes off, and then we'll take its spot. So let's go right here for now. Set the parking brake. And what do we need to do to shut this thing down? We need to, it says, to turn off all the lights, even though our engines are still running, but we'll turn them off. Let's keep that on because our engines are still running. Let's come down here. Props to feather, my favorite sound. And conditioners off. External power. So we should be able to shut down some other stuff, I think, and lights stay on. Yes, they do. Avionics can come off. Some of this other stuff can come off. Those can come off now, so can that, and come over here, and some of this can turn off. Well, that like reset itself. That's interesting. And I think, oh good, a nice 50 degrees in here. I think that's everything. Now we can turn that one off. We'll keep the flood on though. Let's open this up from in here. And let's open this from the inside, which we normally don't do. But we'll come out here now. Like so. There we go. Get to watch the door open a little bit more. Open up the baggage door and the static elements. And there you go. So welcome, well, to Alabama. From Alabama to Alabama. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Hope you enjoyed this idea for the series. We're going to hit all 50 states in about 50 videos. Again, if you have any ideas for where you want me to fly in your state when I get to it, alphabetically, let me know and I'll fly there. Otherwise, if you found me by accident, please subscribe. Before I regular subscriber, thank you for continuing support. I'm going to fix my computer. Let's watch the sunset together, and I'll catch you on the next one.